Hey everybody, Charlie and I are two here, and welcome back to Pentiment. We last left off time jump. We are now baby Magdalene, who is now grown up, and we have developed her character a bit. She's prickly, into tinkering, and knows a bit about most languages, but not enough to speak them fluently. Let's see what... Oh, no, we don't want to write yet, do we? Well, I guess so. So we just had an argument with most of the town about what to paint on the mural at the rat house that is now completed, or almost complete. And our dad, Klaus, up here, wants to paint the truth. And I agree with him, but the rest of the town doesn't. Let's go ahead and write our friend, Esther. All right, where to begin? I should write to Esther. Dearest Esther. Ooh, we got to come up with a letter here. I hope you've been well. Autumn has reached us here in Tassing at last. Hope you and your family are well. Dad sends his regards to your parents like usual. He did ask for that. Spent the last few days collecting oak galls. I am curious, what is an oak gall? A parasitic growth which develops on oak trees, caused by wasps laying their eggs under the tree bark. Oak galls were traditionally harvested and distilled into iron ink used in manuscripts. I did not know that at all. Sister Gertrude. Don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into a smooth ink. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention Dad started a new project? He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new rat house to memorialize the revolt. The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history, past, present, and future. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I'm 20 now. The printing shop has been in the family for years. I'm looking forward to taking it over. Ugh. I think she probably has a wandering mind. She probably wants to see the world. Dad says I should take over the shop, but I want to do more with my life. Not just take over a print shop like some tiny town in the Alps. If I married a master printer, then I could become part of the Printers Guild. Then I'd be able to send Dad my extra earnings and make a name for myself in one of the cities. And yes, before you break the nib off your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I'll try to make some time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. Dad's been busy with the rat house murals, so I've taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it'll be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write me back soon. All my love, Magda. Ah, she doesn't want to be called Mags. She wants to be called Magda. Go to bed. Can we do anything else? We can kind of explore. Let's go in the church. Let's see if anything's changed here. Usually at nighttime, you can't really get too much accomplished. Hey, Father Tomas is here. She just says, God bless you. See if she has anything different to say upon looking at some of these things. Mary, Mother of Jesus, her painting has been here as long as I can remember. She does have a different point of view to say. We'll just kind of go around and look for anything like out of the ordinary. Can we go in this house? It's empty. This was old Attilia's house. A shame that it's been left out here to rot. Nope, can't do anything with that. Nope, she doesn't say anything on that one. Alright, if we don't see anything next few frames, we'll just keep going and go to bed. Yeah, let's go to bed. I'm not seeing anything happening tonight. Oh, wait a minute. He just says, hey. Okay, never mind. Alright, bedtime. It's late. I should get some rest. Go to sleep. I wonder if she's going to have her own, like, play going on in her mind when she goes to sleep. Sleeping on top of the covers. Bold move, Cotton. Especially in October in Bavaria. Uh-oh. Klaus. Arg! Or Ag! Dad? Dad? Magdalene? Dad? Hang on, I'm coming. Oh, he's gonna be dead, ain't he? Oh, no. Dad! Magdalene. What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Stoltz. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me. This wound is too deep for me to take care of on my own, and we need Dr. Stoltz. I can't carry you across town, Dad. I won't be long, I swear. Please just hold on. Magdalene, be careful. I'll be right back, I promise. He's gonna be dead when we get back. Oh no, he's still alive. Okay. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? No, maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them? Are you sure they didn't see a shadow and hit your head? I can't read. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, Jorg, you saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. A burglar and Tassing? That's preposterous. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head, unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. No, of course not. No. As I thought. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. It's a grave injury, Magdalene. You'll need to help take care of your father. I will. Whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now, Klaus. You absolutely cannot get out of bed. I'm kind of feeling like the doctor did it. No, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. No! With respect, Father Tomas, you're not on this council. Yes, just offering my opinion. I can paint the mural. What? Max, quit joking around. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? I've been painting since before I could walk. You don't think I'm good enough? I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself, and Dad trusts me to illustrate the books. Is that enough? I'm older than Otts, and he's on the town council. He doesn't even do anything. I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself. Painting a mural this large and complicated will take a lot of skill and expertise. So that's why we were having your dad make it. He's been making art forever. I agree with Paul. Klaus needs home care. You're best suited for that, Magdalene, not a mural. What did you just say to me? What is that supposed to mean? Well, are you sure you're up for it? Physically, I mean? It's quite demanding. You'd be up on scaffolding and could fall. Are you not listening to me? I've already been doing this work for years. All right, I can see where this is going, and I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You can second guess me all you want, but Dad knows what it takes. I can do it, Dad. If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Good job, Dad. Klaus. If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. All right, I say we let her. Doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Very well. He is too smug looking right here. Like, look, surprised, kind of like not concerned, sort of depressed, sad, kind of just bewildered. This guy's just creepo, right? But look at him. He looks like he knows something, like he did something. All right, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to us about what you're doing, all right? We're going to just say of course for now. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, Jorg. Wow, I thought he was just going to straight die. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? I didn't want to say this in front of your father or the others. Well, I mean, you're in front of the father now. Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. I know the injury is severe, Werner. I saw all the blood. Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left, but he's not going to survive. Can't we take him to see a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. In fact, he shouldn't be moved at all. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? There's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable and you can enjoy the time you have left. I can help with palliative care. But time will run out before long. I'm sorry, Magdalene. I don't trust you, Werner. "6 a.m. October 23. The attack. Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. But I don't know how much time he has left. Werner said it could be a few months or... God protect him. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest part of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing's saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history depicting the revolt as important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town's history, but not all of it. Dad said the library in Kearsall had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write her now while I'm thinking about it. We snuck out a book about the history of Tassing. Write to Mother Illuminata. Should I do that now, or should I speak to people about the history? Will this make time pass? All right, where to begin? Dad told me the last prioress at Kearsall knew something about the old history of Tassing. He said she became the abbess in a convent in Bologna. Mother Illuminata? Yes, at Santa Margherita. I should write to her. Mother Illuminata, abbess of Santa Margherita, formerly prioress of Kearsall Abbey, formerly librarian of Kearsall Abbey. Formerly librarian may be a slight to her status because she was higher than that at Kearsall, but it does apply to what we're asking about. So it would kind of focus the subject. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Librarian. My name is Magdalene Druckian. I do not believe we've ever met. I was very young when you left Kearsall. I'm the daughter of Klaus Drucker, Magdalene. We are printers from Tassing. You're acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. I'm writing because my father and I created a mural in the Tassing Rat House. It's going to tell the story of our community and all of Kearsall as well. We have only legends and folklore since, of course, all of Kearsall's books were destroyed in a fire. I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear it. We'd appreciate any help you could give us and hope you are well. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the sisters after the fire. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the library and its books. Father always spoke highly of your piety and intellect. No, if we would not mind a personal question, was it hard to return to Italy after being here for so many years? No. We're going to talk about her time in the library and the books. Since she is in a position in the church, we will say God bless you. Magdalene. Does make time pass. Oh, that's not AM. How am I confused on the clock here? If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. Hold on. 20th hour? So I didn't understand that clock then. I thought it was 1 through 12, 1 through 12, as in 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. Like a 24-hour clock, but not showing the 24 hours. But I must have been confused as the layout. She wants to go to sleep. Let's go to sleep. Let's get some rest. Go to sleep. Oh, that would make sense because he got injured in the night. And we woke up from that. You want to do this whole thing again? With the hair? Okay, so this is AM on the left side and PM on the right side. That's what I was confused about. Wow, a lot of time is passing. We're trying to get this done before December 25th. Ah, Mistress Druckern, I have a few letters here addressed to you. Or Druckern. Take care now. Thank you, sir. Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Mistress Druckern, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed Tassin's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbors believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tilman Kreutzer, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. I should also say that it's not true that all of Kearsall's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Mailer managed to save some from the flames, God rest his soul. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloging and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kearsall, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia de Tassé, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. I'd forgotten about it until now because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassé shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Fernick took it from the Baron after the murder. Our Ferrans had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems an odd thing to do in the moment. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he did it. Niklaus Haberle, the Baron's manservant, believed it may have been stolen by town thief Martin Bauer. If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that it was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, appointed official in a monastery responsible for maintaining the sacristy. Oh yeah, we did know this. Prior Matthew learned a great deal about the subject. I've not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. What is Sion? Once a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, Sion became the capital of Valais, where the canton joined the Swiss Confederacy following the Swabian War in 1499. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name, Falsenegi Sau. If you write to him soon, your letters may reach him before the snow covers Valais. A canton in the Swiss Alps, Valais became the associate member of the Swiss Confederation in 1529. Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the Abbey in his better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will towards anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. God bless you as well. Mother Luminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita. Oh, Esther wrote to me as well. Hey, Esther. My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Elisha has taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. Mother was furious when he spent several pfennigs trying to find lapis at the market. She sent him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. Though really, if you don't plan to stay in Tassing, you ought to come sooner rather than later. There are plenty of beautiful young Christian men around town, printers and academics alike. Or maybe something else, you have your pick. Prague is a good city for me as well. Before the expulsion, there was a handsome man at the synagogue, Sinmund, who caught my eye. His father is a merchant, and he's a doctor. He went to the University of Padua. Can you believe it? I'd quite like to marry him, if I can find him again. Anyway, I think you'd better have even better luck than me. The boys would swoon at a beautiful blonde artist from the Alps. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see it when it's finished. Blessings, Esther. I have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey, Dad, how you feeling? Ah, Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment. Are you sure I can bring up something light like milk or broth? No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Luminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. This guy, yellow hat dude. Mother Illuminata, Magdalene. Right, yes, Mother Illuminata. Young Kreutzer has mentioned those tales from time to time. Yes, he comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields, you might ask him about that. Il Peter's always harumphed about how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore, too. I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. He's still alive? I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. I can hardly understand him these days, but it's worth asking. But he's so mean. I didn't think of that. Thanks, Dad. Of course, Magda, it's nice to feel useful even if I am stuck here in bed. Nonsense. I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey, too. The old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. He's always been kind to me. When I chat with him, I'm certain he'll know something about the ruins. Yep, I like Smokey. You may hear something worth your while at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever's left over from the Romans and before. The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. Ah, you take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, all right? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why Jorg doesn't keep them in line. Always making trouble, those two. Don't worry about me, Dad. I'll be careful. They do have brains enough to keep out of trouble. They don't have brains enough to keep out of trouble. I do. That's what happens when you name your kids after pagan gods instead of saints, I guess. At least Artemis actually knows how to read. I don't think Apollo can even spell his name. Prickly. The boy struggles with his letters, Magdalene. Don't shame him for it. Not everyone is a printer's daughter. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, right? We still have a household to run. Don't worry, I'll get everything done. That's my girl. I better get going if I want to do all that today. See you later, Dad. Good luck. So, I wonder if the book that we chose to buy for Magdalene is going to play a role as well. Because we bought her the one about the history of, not the history, but like animals and stuff, right? So we don't have a murder investigation, even though somebody did hit him on the head, and I would like to figure out who. It doesn't seem like we're too concerned with that for some reason. But we're more concerned with the history of Tassing. Martin Bauer Farm. We do need to find out about Martin, what he did with the book. Brigitte. Magdalene, how are you keeping? I'm eager to continue work on the mural. I have so much to do before Christmas. I'm certain it will be the pride of Tassing when you're through. You've always had your mother's talent for art. And how is your dad? You're one of the only people who've asked how I'm doing before asking about my dad. His mind is fading. I pray for him every night. As do I. Lord knows what your dad means to this town and what you mean. Some ways, after revolt, you became everyone's daughter. I feel more like a thorn in everyone's side now that I'm painting the mural. That's a sweet idea. I wish the council saw it the same way. They mean don't anything by it? That's backwards. They don't mean anything by it. They love you, Magna, but they're worried about pleasing the Lord. It's not fair to you, but it is what it is. Thank God the doctor's turned a new leaf. I do believe he's up to the task of healing your dad. Caring for someone can be an arduous task, even if you love them. It's all right if you find it challenging. The Lord sees your labors for your dad and admires them. But I believe God will put your dad through whatever the doctor says. We need him. I don't know what I'll do if he dies. I feel crazy even thinking about it. Should the worst come to pass, you will not be alone, Magdalene. Believe me. It may feel like you are, but... Have you thought about what you'll do if your dad doesn't come through this? I'd have to get married. You remember what happened to Attilia. Dad would want me to keep up the printing press. I truly don't know. I'd have to get married. That poor woman. But you're a good girl, Magda. There are any number of families in Tassing who'd be happy to take you. You have someone in mind, don't you? I literally can't imagine who you'd be alluding to. There's not a single young man of quality in this town. Not even young Otz. Heh, he's about as subtle as his father. God rest Otto's soul. I miss him. Otz doesn't even know what he wants. Some days I'm amazed he can button his own pants. Heh, the way Eva hovers, who's to say she doesn't do it for him? It was the same with Otto and Eva. We all knew he was hers from the start. As for Otz, appears to be yours. But if nothing ever comes of that, I know that you're always Know that you're always welcome in my family, Magda. Kraft's a nice, hard-working boy. He's got a sharp mind. He can provide for a family. You trying to set me up with your son? Can you blame a mother for trying? You're a good, respectable girl, Magda. Any family would be lucky to have as her daughter. I'll consider it. Thank you, sweet girl. Not every marriage starts off on a solid footing, but if you pray and work and trust in the Lord, you can find it in time. Believe me. If it's not working out, how can you be sure a couple belongs together? You're not making the prospect sound very enticing. Maybe I'll never get married. Let's go to the middle one. Marriage is our natural state. It is in our homes that we are closest to the Lord. Lord made us from Adam's rib because he means for us to be a part of men. You would be lonely to never know that fullness of purpose. That's no life for someone like you. You're not the first person to tell me so. That's because your elders are wise, Magda. Trust in our love for you and in the Lord's purpose. In any case, I should get back to the chores. Remember what I said. Whatever happens, you're always welcome in my home. Before we forget, I actually had a question about an old book. Martin is supposed to have stolen it from that baron who was killed years ago. Do you know what happened to it? Oh. Hope this doesn't get me into any trouble, but I still have it, hidden in a drawer. Martin left it behind when he ran off. He went to all that trouble to take it, but he didn't bring it along. Martin was a thief, but he wasn't stupid. I'm sure he realized no one would believe he'd come by the book honestly, so he couldn't sell it. Why'd you keep it? What was I supposed to do? The Baron was killed soon after, and there I was, holding his stolen book. I didn't want Martin to get in any more trouble than he was already in. Never read it, though. I don't read well. Can I have it? I don't know. I need it to reference for the mural. I'd like to read it to my dad. Let's lie. It's a nice thought. It does seem like the kind of story Klaus would like. Oh, all right. The lie worked. I'd like to have nothing more to do with it, to be frank. It reminds us of difficult times. Stolen book of a dead nobleman in our home. Perhaps it spoiled our milk and turned our eggs all these years. Here you are. Please don't tell anyone I had this. So you just had it on you. Historia Tasse. Oh, it's in Latin. I can understand a few words and phrases. I'll take a closer look in the evening. Thank you, Brigitte. You've been a big help. Of course, Magda. Be well now. God bless. You too, Brigitte. Until later. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or subscribe. It truly helps the channel. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.